The phone buzzed on the kitchen table at exactly 9:17 p.m. It wasn't loud, it wasn't urgent. Just a soft vibration against old wood, the kind of sound that usually carried pictures of flowers, dress fittings, or last-minute wedding excitement. She smiled before she even picked it up. For weeks, she had been waiting for a message like this. Her daughter was getting married. Her only child, the girl she had raised with trembling hands and unbreakable resolve. The girl whose first cry had changed the entire direction of her life. She wiped her hands on a dish towel, adjusted her glasses, and reached for the phone. The smile lasted exactly 3 seconds. Asterisk, asterisk, don't come to my wedding. My husband hates you, and we don't want you to ruin our wedding. Asterisk, asterisk, the words didn't register at first. They sat there on the screen, clean, sharp, merciless, like they belonged to someone else's life. She reread the message. Once, twice, 5 times. Her thumb hovered over the screen, waiting for the rest. A joke, a follow-up. Asterisk, Mom, I'm stressed. Please understand. Asterisk, nothing came. The room felt suddenly too quiet. The old clock on the wall ticked loudly, each second stretching like it was mocking her. She lowered herself into the chair, her knees weak, her chest tight in a way she hadn't felt in years. Asterisk, don't come. Asterisk, not asterisk, please asterisk. Not asterisk, let's talk asterisk. Not asterisk, I'm sorry asterisk. Just an order. Her daughter's words echoed in her mind, clashing violently with memories she had spent a lifetime building. She remembered the night her daughter was born, how the father never showed up, how she signed the hospital papers alone, how she whispered through exhaustion, asterisk, it's just you and me now, asterisk, and it had been. She remembered rocking her through fevers, counting coins at grocery stores, sewing torn clothes instead of buying new ones. She remembered skipping meals so her daughter could eat seconds, selling her wedding ring when school tuition came due, working double shifts with swollen feet and a smile that never quite reached her eyes. She remembered standing in the rain at every school performance because the seats were full, clapping louder than anyone else so her daughter would know she was there. Always there. She remembered the nights her daughter cried over heartbreaks, exams, insecurities, how she would brush her hair and say, asterisk, no matter what happens, I'm on your side. Asterisk, and her daughter had always answered the same way. Asterisk, I know, Mom, I'll never leave you. Asterisk, her hands began to shake. She set the phone down slowly, as if it might burn her skin. Asterisk, my husband hates you. Asterisk, that sentence hurt almost as much as the rest. She had tried. God knew she had tried. From the first introduction, she had swallowed her instincts, ignored the small red flags, smiled through condescension. She had offered help, support, money, never advice unless asked. She had stepped back when she sensed she was no longer welcome. Because love, she believed, meant knowing when to be quiet. But silence, it seemed, had not saved her. A tear slid down her cheek, then another. She didn't sob. She didn't wail. The pain was too deep for noise. It settled into her bones, heavy and cold. She picked up the phone again. Her finger hovered over the call button. One call, that was all it would take. One conversation. One chance to explain, to beg, to remind her daughter of everything. But something stopped her. Pride, no, clarity. For the first time, she saw the message not as a daughter lashing out, but as a decision already made. A door already closed. She thought of all the times she had taught her daughter about boundaries, about self-respect, about not allowing anyone to diminish her worth. And now, those lessons were staring back at her, demanding to be applied to herself. She exhaled slowly. Then, unexpectedly, she smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. It was the kind that comes when grief finishes breaking you and leaves behind something colder, stronger, and unbearably calm. She didn't reply. She didn't cry anymore. She simply sat there in the quiet kitchen, the glow of the phone fading as a lifetime of giving crystallized into a single, irreversible understanding. Asterisk, love does not mean accepting humiliation. Asterisk. Outside, the night deepened. The world kept moving. Somewhere, wedding plans continued, vendors confirmed, music chosen, flowers arranged. And in that silence, a woman who had spent her life sacrificing finally stopped. By dawn, everything would change. Morning arrived without mercy. Sunlight slipped through the thin kitchen curtains, illuminating the same chair where she had sat all night, unmoving. The phone lay face down on the table, silent now, as if the message had never existed, as if it hadn't quietly rearranged the structure of her heart. She stood slowly, her joints stiff, her body heavy with exhaustion. She could not sleep away. In the bathroom mirror, she barely recognized herself. The woman staring back had silver threading through her hair and faint lines around her eyes, lines carved by years of worry, sacrifice, and hope. Yet there was something new there too, a stillness, a strange composure that felt almost foreign. She washed her face, dried it carefully, and whispered to her reflection, "Enough." The word felt final. For decades she had been the invisible foundation beneath everyone else's lives. She never announced her strength. She never demanded credit. When her daughter graduated, people praised the child's brilliance. When the business succeeded, they applauded ambition. No one asked who paid the tuition, who co-signed the loans, who quietly wired funds when dreams teetered on the edge of collapse. She had never corrected them, because love to her had always been about giving without accounting. Until now, she made herself a cup of tea and sat at the table again. This time, she turned the phone face up. There were no new messages, no apologies sent in the dead of night, no second thoughts, only silence. She scrolled through old photos instead, tiny fingers wrapped around hers, missing teeth smiles, graduation gowns, the proud day she handed over the keys to a car she had paid for in full. Asterisk all of it funded by love, asterisk she thought, and all of it taken for granted, her daughter's fiancé. No husband now, she corrected herself, had never hidden his disdain. He called her overbearing for asking if they'd eaten, controlling for offering help, old-fashioned for believing family should matter. She had absorbed every insult quietly, believing patience would earn respect. It hadn't at precisely 6:42 a.m. She made her decision. She didn't slam doors or throw things. She didn't rage or curse. She simply reached for a folder tucked neatly inside the cabinet, a folder she hadn't opened in years. Inside were documents most people never thought about until it was too late, account numbers, trust agreements, business investments, property deeds, all signed with her name, because while she had raised her daughter to chase independence, she had also ensured security. She had planned for weddings, grandchildren, emergencies, futures that extended far beyond herself. She stared at the papers, her fingers steady. Asterisk, this isn't revenge. Asterisk, she told herself. Asterisk, this is correction. Asterisk, she picked up the phone and made a call. Her financial advisor answered on the second ring. "Good morning," he said cheerfully. "Good morning," she replied, her voice calm, almost warm. "I need to temporarily freeze all accounts connected to my daughter and her spouse." There was a pause. "May I ask why?" "Yes," she said softly. "You may, but it won't change the request." Another pause, longer this time. "Understood. I'll begin the process immediately." She thanked him and ended the call. No trembling hands. No second thoughts. She followed it with another call, then another, a lawyer, a banker. Each conversation brief, professional, unremarkable. And with every confirmation, a strange lightness spread through her chest. She wasn't taking something that didn't belong to her. She was reclaiming herself. As the sun rose higher, she prepared breakfast as she always did, methodical, precise. Toast, eggs, coffee, the same routine she had kept for years. But something was different. She was smiling. Not the soft, apologetic smile she wore to keep peace, not the careful one she used when trying not to offend. This smile was quiet, private, unreadable. If anyone had seen her, they would have misunderstood it completely. They would have thought she was fine. They would never have guessed that in a matter of hours an entire wedding would unravel, not because she raised her voice, but because she finally lowered her hands. She finished her coffee, glanced once more at the phone, and stood. By dawn, the accounts were frozen. By morning, the silence would break, and by the end of the day, everyone would finally understand the cost of mistaking kindness for weakness. Her phone began vibrating at 7:03 a.m., not ringing, vibrating, relentless, angry, panicked. She was in the garden, kneeling in the damp soil, trimming rose stems with careful precision. Gardening had always calmed her. It reminded her that growth required patience and pruning. She didn't reach for the phone. It buzzed again and again. By the time she stood, brushing dirt from her knees, the screen lit up with notification after notification. Missed calls, voicemails, texts stacking so quickly they blurred together. She carried the phone inside, set it on the counter, and watched as it vibrated itself closer to the edge, like a trapped animal. 118 missed calls. She exhaled slowly. The first voicemail came from her daughter. "Mom, please call me back. Something's wrong with the accounts. I can't access anything." The second was sharper. "Mom, answer your phone. This isn't funny." The third was panic, thinly veiled. "The florist won't release the arrangements. The venue says the payment bounced. I don't understand." Then came the groom's voice, cold at first, then irritated, then furious. "What did you do? You're trying to sabotage our wedding. You're being vindictive." And finally, desperation. "Please, we need the money back. We'll talk later." She listened to every message without flinching. Not because she felt nothing, but because she had already felt everything the night before. She poured herself a glass of water and sat down, letting the silence settle again. The power had shifted, and they could feel it. For the first time, their certainty had cracked. She imagined the chaos unfolding miles away. The bridal suite buzzing with confusion, credit cards declining, the wedding planner whispering urgently in corners. The groom pacing, phone glued to his ear, rage giving way to fear. Money had a way of revealing truths people worked hard to hide. The calls continued, text messages now rapid, overlapping. Asterisk, "Mom, please call me asterisk asterisk. This is serious asterisk asterisk. You're ruining my life asterisk asterisk. I didn't mean it like that asterisk asterisk. He made me say it asterisk." That one made her pause. Asterisk, he made me say it. Asterisk, she closed her eyes. So that was the story now, not accountability deflection. She thought of every time she had defended her daughter to others, every time she had said, asterisk, "She's young. She's figuring it out. Be patient." Asterisk patience had not taught gratitude. It had taught entitlement. At 9:12 a.m., she finally picked up the phone. She didn't call her daughter. She answered the next incoming call. "Hello," she said calmly. The sob on the other end was immediate. "Mama, thank God, please. We can't pay anyone. The caterer is threatening to leave. The hotel blocked our rooms. Why would you do this?" She waited until the crying slowed. "Why would I do this?" she repeated gently. "Why would you tell your mother not to come to her own daughter's wedding?" Silence. Then a shaky breath. "I was stressed. You know how he is. I didn't mean it." Her voice didn't rise. "Did you mean the words?" she asked. Another pause. "Yes," her daughter whispered. That single word settled everything. "I raised you to be honest," she said quietly. "Thank you for finally being so." The groom's voice suddenly cut in, loud and sharp. "This is between you and her. You had no right to touch that money." She smiled. "I had every right." She replied, "Every account is in my name. Every payment was a gift conditional on respect." "You're blackmailing us," he snapped. "No," she corrected. "I'm withdrawing support." He scoffed. "You're going to let your own daughter's wedding fall apart." She thought of the text again. The cruelty, the finality. "I'm not ruining anything," she said softly. "I'm simply no longer funding a life where I am not welcome." The line went dead. Minutes later, the messages returned, apologies now, dripping with urgency. Asterisk, we're sorry, asterisk, asterisk, please come, asterisk, asterisk, we need you, asterisk. She stared at the words. Asterisk, we need you. Asterisk, not asterisk, we love you, asterisk. Not asterisk, we were wrong, asterisk. Need was not the same as love. She turned the phone face down. Outside, church bells rang faintly in the distance. It was almost time for a wedding she would not attend, and a reckoning that could no longer be postponed. For the first time in years, she felt strangely at peace. The wedding began without her. No grand entrance. No proud mother adjusting her daughter's veil. No gentle tears dabbed away during vows. The chairs filled slowly, the music played on time, and the ceremony proceeded exactly as planned, at least on the surface. But beneath the polished smiles and hurried whispers, something essential was missing. Stability. The flowers were fewer than promised. The menu had been cut in half. The open bar quietly disappeared, replaced with apologetic explanations and plastic cups. The honeymoon suite had been downgraded. No one said it aloud, but everyone felt it. This wedding had been built on borrowed ground. Miles away, she sat at her dining table, sunlight warming her hands as she folded a letter with deliberate care. She had written it slowly, choosing each word as if it mattered, because this time it truly did. She addressed it simply, asterisk, to my daughter. Asterisk, she did not attend the wedding. She did not send a gift wrapped in guilt or obligation. She sent truth. Asterisk, asterisk, my love. Asterisk, 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 I did not ruin your wedding. I refused to ruin myself. Asterisk, 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 I raised you with love, not ownership. I gave you support, not control. Everything I offered was a gift, never a leash. But gifts require one thing in return, respect. Asterisk, 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 when you told me not to come, you made a choice. When I froze the accounts, I honored it. Asterisk, 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 this is not punishment. This is a boundary. Asterisk, 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 I will always be your mother. But I will no longer be your silence, your wallet, or your shield. Asterisk, 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 if one day you want me in your life, not because you need me, but because you value me, I will be here. Asterisk, 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 until then, I choose peace. Asterisk, 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 Mom, asterisk, asterisk. She sealed the envelope and set it beside the door. Whether it was read today or years from now, no longer controlled her heart. That afternoon, she visited the bank one final time, not to reclaim control, but to release it. She authorized a donation from the frozen funds to a local scholarship for single mothers and their children. Women who, like her once, balanced dreams on exhausted shoulders and stubborn hope. As she signed the paperwork, the clerk looked up and smiled. "This will change lives," she said. The mother nodded. "It already has." When evening came, she walked through a quiet home, touching familiar walls, photographs, memories that no longer hurt as sharply. The pain hadn't vanished, but it had transformed. It was no longer grief. It was wisdom. Her phone buzzed once more. A single message. Asterisk, I understand now. I'm sorry. Asterisk, she read it slowly. Then she set the phone down. Forgiveness would come. Perhaps reconciliation might follow, if earned, but tonight was not about healing anyone else. Tonight was about honoring herself. She stepped onto the porch as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in gold and fire. Somewhere a party continued without her. Somewhere vows were spoken under pressure instead of gratitude. And here, right here, stood a woman who had finally learned the hardest lesson of love. You can give someone everything and still walk away with dignity. She had not ruined a wedding. She had ended a cycle, and for the first time in her life, that was enough.